Traveling at the velocity of light through the vacuum of space on our primary band, this is Grand Plan Wireless, the informed, sourced, peer-reviewed sound of scientism. An ongoing prolongation of existence advisory remains in effect for all presently transiting the Golden Ridge region. Utmost caution is highly urged. Refugees and travelers report targeted ambushment by desperate pharmaceutical-addled, chemically dehanced societal cast-offs who have succumbed to a life of pilferage and plunder. Auntie's choice troops have been espied bivouacked in trenches crisscrossing the highlands, and although a ceasefire exists, a healthy degree of circumspection remains advised. Newly introduced invasive species deposited here by Auntie's choice have been determined to be territorial, toothsome, and aggressive.
Emergency protocols ready.
Closely monitor their surroundings at all times, thus perforating outside inhabited areas. Those choosing to heed said forewarnings are predicted to have a 14.7% higher chance of survival.
Now do carry on. And as always, anticipate and calculate.
Beneficial content soon follows. Warning, the following song mentions some actions that are improper, something your fractions should never do.
Confronting threat.
Your eyes pierce mine like an honey bond. I felt it in my blood.
Administer
And thermodynamics set my heart up.
reducing debility.
Dynamic process, the temperature increased. It never remained constant. It was impossible to decrease. Caught in a catalyst, leading to combustion. Joined in a synthesis, a flawless combination of this fatal attraction. Did we ever find a perfect calculation? Were we destined to a faulty form of passion? When we talked about the role of obsession, you broke my heart when you countered that with phlogiston. In our dynamic process, the temperature increased. It never remained constant. It was impossible to decrease. Caught in a catalyst, leading to combustion. Stuck in entropy from chaos to decomposition. this fatal attraction.
This time on Notable Locations of Scientific Inquiry, we cogitate on the past as well as the future in a sanctuary devoted to time and space. A feast for your occipital lobe and optic nerve. One of the most stunning order-made structures across the entire Arcadia system. Prepare to sense the sensational as we draw your feelings of awe to the Alexandra Monastery at Matriarch's Mercy in Golden Ridge. Set next to a colossal sculpture of the matriarch carved into a pyramidal peak, this shrine to she who ushered us to the stars comes complete with its own observatory. A feat of aesthetics only surpassed by its vast operational importance in respect to cosmological data collection and subsequent rumination. The observatory processes a wealth of information gathered by its giant ocular telescope. The site also has a front-facing portion to admit dewy-eyed laypeople seeking edification and enrichment about our learnings and ways. And those are just a few of the 36.7 qualitatively valid reasons why Alexandra Monastery counts among our notable locations of scientific inquiry. Stand by for further stimulating content. Avid followers of our predictive playlists are already aware of which song follows. Interested in receiving our weekly selection of mathematical clues? Visit your local predictory.
In ancient times we learned of their existence. When triangles first measured by their distance,
Associate Carrington, audio log entry 10. My orders were to watch for the enemy. Specifically, to never break line of sight to my assigned field of view. But I can hear them advancing along the shore to the south.
This is Grand.
It's fine. Others have been assigned that field of vision. This is the most efficient method of defense.
Tired of vacuously untrue
Architect, they're getting closer.
statements.
Perhaps I'm taking my orders too literally. I'll just peek. No. Trust in the equation. Trust in those greater than I in the order. I will keep looking forward for enemies from that vector. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I have faith that the architect...
This one appears to have been too terrified to even look at us. I almost feel bad killing him.
Now for a new song.
That's the range, Commander. Oh, this will be glorious. Hope my enthusiasm doesn't get the better of me. Those traitors need to suffer.
My piety is
Sequencing attack strategies. Lift weapon prime! This entrance is sealed. Commencing search for alternate means of entry.
We hope you enjoyed that melody, while contemporaneously wishing you did not find its tempo, chord progression, form, and/or meter overly distracting.
The following song has been determined to facilitate abstract thinking and constructive rumination.
when things become complicated.
Now this is just sloppy. If I wasn't already here to kill all these traitorous fools, I'd be forced to use one or two as an example to the rest.
To suffer from perplexity in the face of a source of life complexity. Complexity.
We can hear those wriggly little grub fingers of yours. Bring them close so we can chop them off.
Stop your silliness, fool! The only ones losing body parts around here today are you and your traitorous friends!
Is partially imaginary. You can handle it if you stay very wary. We have tools to tame high-order equations. They are useful in problematic occasions. You can take the formula's derivative, or use square roots of numbers that are negative. Complexity is partially imaginary. No need for fear. The concept isn't very scary. Complexity.
0.36 cubed divided by the standard rate of fluid flow, and then you multiply by, is it 30 or, oh, hello.
Look at the state of this poor fool. They just left her bleeding out? Exsanguination is an art. Where's the precision, the pride in their work? This is just embarrassing.
There's a cultist behind you. Wait, surely she isn't with you. Fine. Just please keep her away from me. Architect's mercy, thank you. It is so much easier to be polite when I needn't fear all of my bones sliding out of my body. Oh, dear Archivist Clemens has been so strange lately. So distant, so agitated. And not his normal agitation, mind you. This is something different. Much worse. He's like a wire stretched beyond its breaking point. Never a harsh word to anyone, but being in his presence, well, it's as if his stress is infectious. Best not to push him. He's deeper in the facility, working on something he deemed to be of the utmost importance. Either he is still below, continuing said work, or he is quite dead. And with all those cultists gallivanting about, I don't fancy his odds.
Please, with the way my so-called brethren are comporting themselves, he's more likely to die of boredom. If I was in charge here, all of you'd be dead. He soon will be.
Yes. I'm sure you'll kill them quite well.
Scientists seek safety in numbers.
The crazed cultist, people like your friend here, have been sowing destruction throughout the range for days. I've seen few firsthand, but that isn't because they've gone. Rather, I believe they have become visibility deficient.
The famous stellar cartographer Newton Otisgard replied, with no hesitation, beige.
These cultists broke in from above and immediately set about damaging what they could.
His answer was the
I don't know the specifics, just that they can't be seen through normal means.
Their actions are inexcusable. Science allows us to unveil the wonder of the rifts. We do not disrespect it. Now, is there any science around here we can use to find and kill them?
It's a shame the facility is in shambles. We have an N-ray scanner device that may render the cultists far easier for one to locate.
which answers the ancillary mystery of why there are no green stars. To understand the
If I'm still alive in a week, I'll put in a suggestion to the presiding bishop that N-ray scanners be standard issue. The scanner is an optical device designed to detect electrical signals, and the N-ray is given off by all living beings. Visible or not, the cultists still give off N-rays. It was stored nearby. But with the damage to the facility, you'll likely need to use the maintenance vent on the wall there behind the screen to get anywhere near it. Oh, there's no such thing as invisibility. I can only theorize that their visual forms were sent out of phase when they haphazardly tampered with pressurized N-rays. I appreciate your aid. I'm going to wait here and try to prevent my wounds from reopening.
While stellar temperature determines the frequency of light and hence what portion of the spectrum that light is in. Low temperature emission is mostly infrared and not visible to us without proper instrumentation, which I need not describe here. As the stellar body's temperature increases, its emitted light shifts up into
Intensifying friendly fire.
through red into orange, then yellow, then white. Even rare blue stars exist. These are the hottest stars, emitting mostly blue and invisible ultraviolet light. So why are there no green stars, you wonder? I would think the listeners could easily draw this trivial conclusion for themselves, but if I must... It's because any star emitting green light also emits bluish and/or reddish light too, resulting in a non-green star. There is no naturally occurring stellar composition that emits solely packets of green light. In fact, such a composition itself would constitute evidence for intelligent interference, and no such evidence of any kind has ever been detected. Let's get back to Newton Odescard, the famous stellar photographer. The methodology of the Odescard's chromospectral survey was straightforward. He partitioned his astronomical field of view into grids, then tagged each object in every grid. He ignored empty regions, as black would only dim the color and not change its fundamental hue. The light from every galaxy, star, nebula, and quasar was gathered and fed into a central tabulator for computation. The subsequent spectral analysis produced a final answer
The eyes of the unworthy cannot behold our transcendent forms.
value. And that result was beige. More specifically, in the cylindrical coordinate model of color space, the hue is 42 degrees, while the saturation is a mere 9%, and the value is a full 100%. In more novice terms, while the color tends towards white, the addition of a variety of reds and some blues results in a more beige tone. And there you have it. So go forth, neophytes, and as you study your lessons, stare at the nondescript walls of your library, classroom, or dormitory facility, and exult in the knowledge that beige is also the color of the universe.
Scanner detected.
The latest field data validating or repudiating our forecasts and relevant information. informational details for near present and future calculations. Fellow students, ponder this dilemma. One of our transport pods en route from Zeranium Manufactory 7 has impacted in Anti's Choice's outpost opportunity, resulting in casualties. Predictably, the
Readying
corporatist
assault
labor verifiable innocence. We have launched a thorough study to uncover the orchestrators.
End message with an emphatic sign-off such as, "You'll never be sad when you have solutions." Oh, that apparently was a note to self, not to be read aloud.
And now, additional data and/or music determined to facilitate cognition. And now, more music to perform advanced calculations by.
Function f to the n equaling our starting zen. Function fn minus 1 plus the fn minus 2. In all cases that we know, starting where n is so low. Now you know just what to do. Start the cycle, here's the cue. It's Fibonacci, a sequence largely summing to preceding numbers gives us math that brings us wonders. Define the recurrence relation, get us to sequence summation. It's Fibonacci from Liber of Aasi. The golden spiral, a part that's quite so vital, arcing in a circle motion, giving squares to perfect quotient, 0, 1, 1, and again, 2, 3, 5, and 8, and then 13, 21, not 2, 34, we're counting through. It's Fibonacci, a sequence largely summing to preceding numbers gives us math that brings us wonders. Define the recurrence relation, get us to sequence summation. It's Fibonacci from Liber of Aasi. The Fibonacci sequence is a sequence in which each number.
That should do it. Let's get on with the killing.
1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 1, 40.
Eve opens the way forward.
So on, and
Very good work.
it's Fibonacci, a sequence largely summing to preceding numbers gives us math that brings us wonders. Define the recurrence relation, get us to sequence summation. Summing to preceding numbers gives us math that brings us wonders. Define the recurrence relation, get us to sequence summation. It's Fibonacci from Liber of Aasi.
You have tuned your receiver to Grand Plan Wireless. We verify before we amplify.
Above-average scientists acknowledge the value of Cantor dust.
The uncountably best salt substitute from the Order Precepted. In times of peril, remind yourself, contentment is found by accepting your role in the grand plan. Understanding your place, knowing your course, removes all worry and doubt. This popular number has been conclusively proven to promote cognitive function.
Not friendly.
Your postulates are not
Engaging combat protocols. Inhibiting harmful side effects of supposed to shoot the enemy.
You've got to change.
That's a Glorious Dawn communication device. Our cells use them to
Today.
and receive encrypted messages. Where are you going? Our task here is yet unfinished. There are still traitorous swine drawing breath. I suppose you know what you are doing, but we'll need to return eventually to finish this lot off.
You there, you must leave. Is that a cultist with you?
Don't worry. I'm not like these idiots running around here haplessly. If I was here to kill you, it would be no random thing. You'd know it. Are we here to kill this guy, Commander? Good point. We'll kill him after we get the information.
I have nothing to say to the likes of you except if you attempt to interrupt my work, you will no doubt meet the same end as your fellows. Leave, and you may yet live.
This guy is hilarious. Can't wait to see the look on his face when he realizes how much more worried he should have been about me than all the other nonsense around here. Killing traitors is quite fun, is it not?
Victor, I fully understand the importance of your work. This is exactly why I push you so. Your moral justifications for delaying your delivery are misguided. Dead is dead. What matter is it if their ends come in 1 minute or 3? If you seek to be humane in your duties, fine. So long as I get the explosives in time. But if we fail to act, the Order will be lost forever. Collateral damage was always inevitable, Victor. You knew this. And the longer you take in your laboratory, the greater your risk of being caught becomes. If that happens, you know what must be done. But I should remind you that such a failure will result in vastly more suffering for all parties involved. We need those explosives now, Victor. Let's finish this. Victor, I fully understand the importance of your but if we and the long but Victor, dead is but if we and the long but
my ascension with your distantness.
Enemy near. Statistical chance of violence increase.
Ready to ascend. And
Sharp enough. Hostiles nearby.
I have power unto the architect.
at the sad little sprat in his corrugated
Enemy spotted.
little cage.
Why don't you unlock the door and come out, Sprat? Nobody's here.
You better sleep with us, please. Restoring exit fortitude to baseline quantifiers.
You, friend of friends, are a greater ally than any number of fellow scienticians. Oh, thank you very, very much for dealing with those cult... it seems you missed one.
What? Where? I thought we dispatched with all of those traitorous charlatans.
I can see it would be best for me to tactically overlook your comrade. Very well. I see you possess our N-ray scanner. Ooh, ingenious device. If I'd had it, I may have evaded being trapped here. Oh, I shouldn't have had to worry. Damn that Victor and damn his hubris. Fitting that his experiment would cause so much strife, that he would be untouched by the ensuing pandemonium. Pardon my excitement. It's been an eventful day. I don't know the specifics, only that Victor was performing a procedure utilizing processed N-rays. When those cultists flooded the range, they damaged the N-ray canisters. In the ensuing chaos, Victor's experiment was destroyed. I know some cultists were killed, but many more still live, moving unseen through the range. Survived is something of an overstatement. Most of the cultists died immediately upon exposure, and according to past experiments, those that haven't are experiencing accelerated organ liquefaction. I would be more sympathetic to their collective plight, had they not promised to insert every item in this room down my throat in reverse alphabetical order. Because he refused to follow procedure. He didn't take an assistant or allow anyone to see his data, and now it's all consigned to oblivion. What a waste. Oh, believe me, this is more excitement than I ever wanted. I shall.
to approach my holdout. I once again ask you to stop. The path ahead is filled with unseen traps. Whether cultist or wayward scientist, you will be killed. I cannot afford your interruption. Once more, please cease.
Or dying, which is not advised at this time.
I never wanted this situation to escalate like this. You must understand. But now, all that I wanted is cast to the wind. There is but one option left to me. To save Arcadia, to ensure the future, we must both die. Because the Order cannot be hindered by war or by compromise. Any obstacles must be removed, as much as I regret the need to do so. If DeVries does not receive my explosive, she will resort to a violent assault. Many will die, pointlessly, and in agony. I can at least deliver them an instant, painless death. I thought this explosive vest would be an unnecessary precaution. All I can hope is that by blasting us both from the field of play, the Order shall find its way to truth. Want has nothing to do with it. I have very specific instructions on how to proceed in the face of contingencies such as yourself. And you cannot possibly understand whether I am or am not capable of martyrdom. You do not know my depth of character. At the end of all things, my decisions were predestined. I am not at liberty to divulge the reasoning behind my actions. You're not with the Order. You cannot understand why this would be. Could I explain, the words would be lost on you. Your verbiage does not conceal the gaps in your knowledge. But the presiding bishop has taught us that ignorance is not a punishable sin. If the Order is not prevented from reaching its true potential and solves the universal equation, all scientific uncertainty and any associated suffering will end. If what you say is true, then you have my tentative thanks. However, scientific certainty would absolutely have prevented that from happening. We would have predicted it. DeVries opened my eyes. The Order is on the path to absolute truth. And if they are not interrupted, this truth can be pursued. The one right path for humanity revealed to us. Politics cannot bind us. Uncertainty cannot strangle. And no one can be allowed to waltz in and hurl our plans into disarray. What? How do you not understand the present situation? What coward would strap an explosive device to himself? That's not all this. Helping DeVries, completing the work on my explosives is important. It matters. DeVries agrees. I don't want to admit it. As we've spoken, I've fought harder and harder to justify what we're doing. But you're right. I can't fight you any longer. I still believe there are acceptable risks, acceptable losses. But all of this is beyond acceptable. I've been a fool going along with this farce. But it stops now. My relationship with Augustine is at an end.
This poor fool seemed intent on doing himself and us both. Impressive work convincing him otherwise. What say I have a go at him with my disemboweling knife? See what he knows.
All Earth Directorate agents are officially prohibited from using torture as a method of information extraction.
Your loss. Don't like to boast, but I am quite the artiste with a knife.
I believe that's another thanks I owe you. You certainly keep interesting company. I found a way to, via the use of processed N-rays, send objects out of phase. It was inconsistent, but I was close to isolating the procedure. DeVries needed explosives for her plan. By making them unseen, the explosives could be placed as efficiently as possible. No one would be maimed or injured, just killed. Saying that out loud now, it sounds unreal. But somehow, I convinced myself that leaving no survivors was more humane. It's a shame I can't speak to a vicar. I appreciate your consideration. Things could have been very different had your cooler head not prevailed. Here, it is the key to my quarters. Take whatever you find. That will ensure that I cannot use any of it to further DeVries' aims, even if I wanted to. You've certainly convinced me I cannot remain here. May we meet again, when the paths of our lives are at greater apexes.
Boy, damn it! We've killed every traitor in this place, but their treasonous scum of a hierarch wasn't among them. The leader of a cell. In this case, that would be Ziegler. And extinguishing him is obviously our next priority. They were operating under his orders. But since he wasn't here to lead them in person, they would have maintained regular contact using one of our communication devices. We should return to the one we saw earlier. It will hopefully yield some worthwhile information.
I appreciate your help. Dying makes it so difficult to see the results of your theses.
This is it, the Dawn's communication device. Let's see what I can find on it. Not much, but there are a few encrypted messages from Ziegler reporting on a rift in Paradise Island he was sent to study. Idiot didn't even have enough respect to stay to kill me himself. Well, it's of no consequence. Now that I know where he is, let's go show him the error of his ways. I'm right behind you, but not in a threatening way.